It's Mundo Monday. When first we met, we talked about stories where little people triumphed over big monsters. Sometimes these stories are about clever little people who use their big brains to play tricks on the bigger folks. These are called trickster tales. And one of my favorite tricksters. Did you hear something?
Where was I? Favorite trickster comes from the very back of my head. In West Africa. Anansi. Anansi means spider in the Akan language of Ghana. Tales of Anansi probably started here with the Ashanti people, but they spread throughout Western Africa. When Ashanti people were taken as slaves to the Caribbean in the 15th century, they brought the Anansi stories with them. Little people against the big bads were exactly the sort of stories they needed in slavery, so the stories now spread throughout the islands of the Caribbean and into what will become the United States.
But you see, Anansi is not only a trickster, he is a great storyteller too. In fact, he is the keeper of all the stories. He's on my head, isn't he?
I want to hear a spider story. A story.
A story. A story. An African tale, retold and illustrated by Gail E. Haley. It's an Anansi story.
I thought you said he was a spider.
Well, he is a spider, and sometimes he's a man. He's a Spider-Man. He's the god of storytelling. He can be whatever he wants to be. Because, as the storytellers say, we do not really mean what we are about to say is true. A story. Let it come, let it go. Once, O small children round my knee, there were no stories on earth to hear. All the stories belonged to Nyame, the sky god. He kept them in a golden box next to his royal stool. Anansi, the Spider-Man, wanted to buy the sky god stories, so he spun a web up to the sky. When the sky god heard what Anansi wanted, he laughed. The price of my stories is that you bring me Osebo, the leopard of the terrible teeth, Mboro, the hornet who stings like fire, and Mimosha, the fairy whom men never see. Anansi bowed and answered, I shall gladly pay the price. Chuckled the sky god. How can a weak old man like you, so small, pay my price? But Anansi merely climbed down to earth to find the things that the sky god demanded. Anansi ran along the jungle path, yurity, till he came to Osebo, the leopard of the terrible teeth. Oh ho, Anansi, said the leopard, you are just in time to be my lunch. Anansi replied, as for that, what will happen, but first, let us play the binding game. The leopard, who was fond of games, asked, how is it played? With vine creepers, explained Anansi. I will bind you by your foot and foot, then I will untie you and you can tie me up. Very well, growled the leopard, who planned to eat Anansi as soon as it was his turn to bind him. So Anansi tied the leopard by his foot, with the vine creeper. Then he said, now, Shibo, you are ready to meet the sky god. And he hung the tied leopard in a tree in the jungle. Next, Anansi cut a frond from a banana tree and filled a calabash with water. He crept through the tall grasses, soared till he came to the nest of Mboro, the hornets who sting like fire. Anansi held the banana leaf over his head as an umbrella. Then he poured some of the water in the calabash over his head. The rest of the water he emptied over the hornet's nest and cried, "It is raining, raining, raining! Should you not fly into my calabash so the rain will not tatter your wings?" Thank you, hummed the hornets, and they flew into the calabash. Vroom! Anansi quickly stopped the mouth of the gourd. "Now, Mbora, you are ready to meet the sky god," said Anansi, and he hung the calabash full of hornets onto the tree next to the leopard. Anansi now carved a little wooden doll holding a bowl. He covered the doll from top to bottom with sticky latex gum. Then he filled the doll's bowl with pounded yams. He set the little doll at the foot of a flamboyant tree where fairies like to dance. Anansi tied one end of a vine round the doll's head, and holding the other end in his hand, he hid behind a bush. In a little while, Mimosha, the fairy whom no man sees, came dancing, dancing, dancing to the foot of the flamboyant tree. There she saw the doll holding the bowl of yams. Mimosha said, "Come, baby, I'm hungry. May I eat some of your yams?" Anansi pulled at the vine in his hiding place. The doll seemed to nod its head. So the fairy took the bowl from the doll and ate all the yams. "Thank you, Gum Baby," said the fairy, but the doll did not answer. "Don't you reply when I thank you?" cried the angered fairy. The doll did not stir. "Gum Baby, I'll slap your crying place unless you answer me," shouted the fairy. But the wooden doll remained still and silent. So the fairy slapped her crying place. Her hand stuck fast to the Gum Baby's sticky cheek. "Let go of my hand or I'll slap you again." Pah! She slapped the doll baby's crying place with her other hand. Now the fairy was stuck to the Gum Baby with both hands, and she was furious. She pushed against the doll with her feet, and they also stuck fast. Now Anansi came out of hiding. "You're ready to meet the sky god, Mimosha," and he carried her to the tree where the leopard and the hornets were waiting. Anansi spun a web round Osebo, Mboro, and Mimosha. Then he spun the web to the sky. He pulled up his captives behind him and set them down at the feet of the sky god. "Oh, Niame," said Anansi, bowing low, "here is the price you asked for your stories. Osebo, the leopard of the terrible teeth, Mboro, the hornets who sting like fire, and Mimosha, the fairy whom no one sees." Niame, the sky god, called together all the nobles of his court and addressed them in a loud voice. "Little Anansi, the Spider-Man, has paid me the price I asked for my stories. Sing his praise, I command you." "From this day and going on forever," proclaimed the sky god, "my stories belong to Anansi and shall be called Spider Stories." "Hee hee hee!" shouted all the assembled nobles. So Anansi took the golden box of stories back to Earth, to the people of his village, and when he opened the box, all the stories scattered to the corners of the world, including this one. This is my story, which I have related. If it be sweet, or if it be not sweet, take some elsewhere and let some come back to me. This is where I want to put in a book recommendation for older kids, or kids or grown-ups, or anyone who enjoys the Rick Riordan books of Percy Jackson and Greek mythology. I don't know if you know, you should know, it's a very important thing, that Rick Riordan recently started his own book imprint, which means he accepts books that other people write for publication. He edits them and puts them together. All books that appeal to people who like the Percy Jackson stories. One of those books happens to refer to the events of A Story. Tristan Strong punches a hole in the sky. In this story, Tristan gets a chance to meet the Gum Baby in this story. She's one of my favorite characters. And hear all about Anansi's exploits. And in fact, Tristan is an Anansi. Gets its name from a story from Anansi. It's a true storyteller. If you read this book and you like it, a sequel, Tristan Strong Destroys the World, is coming out in October. But Anansi does have a lot of stories. Maybe I'll tell you a different one. One where he looks like a spider. Anansi the Spider by Gerald McDermott. A tale from the Ashanti people. Anansi. He is Spider to the Ashanti people. In Ashanti land, people love the story of Kwaku Anansi. Time was, Anansi had 6 sons. First son was called Sea Trouble. He had the gift of seeing trouble a long way off. Second son was Road Builder. Thirsty son was River Drinker. Next son was Game Skinner. Another son was Stone Thrower. And last of the sons was Cushion. He was very soft. All were good sons of Anansi. One time, Anansi went a long way from home. Far from home. He got lost. He fell into trouble. No! Back home was son Sea Trouble. Father is in danger, he cried. He knew it quickly, and he told those other sons. Road Builder's son said, "Follow me," and he built them a path to take. Off he went, making the road. They went fast, those 6 brothers, gone to help Anansi. Where is father now? Fish has swallowed him. Anansi's inside fish. River Drinker took a big drink. No more river. Then Game Skinner helped Father Anansi. He split open the fish. More trouble came just then. It was Falcon! Took Anansi up to the sky! Quick, now, Stone Thrower! Whoop! The stone hit Falcon. Anansi fell through the sky. Now, Cushion ran to help his father. Very soft, Anansi came down. They were very happy, that spider family. All home again that night, Kwaku Anansi found a thing in the forest. What is this? A great globe of light. Oh, mysterious, beautiful. I shall give this to my son, said Anansi, to the son who rescued me. But which son of 6? Which one deserves the prize? Nyame! Can you help me? Oh, Nyame! called Anansi. For Ashanti people, Nyame, the god of the sky, is the god of all things. Anansi asked this of Miame. Please hold this beautiful globe of light until I know which son should have it for his own. And so they tried to decide which son deserved the prize. They tried, but they could not decide. They argued all night. Miame saw this. The god of all things took that beautiful white light up to the sky. He keeps it there for all to see. It is still there. Will always be there. It is there tonight. The end.
Spiders roll! More spider stories!
Well, I don't know about spiders, but we'll have more stories from around the world next week.